I'm Teisha with Shalom TV's news update from Monday, September the 8th, 2014. The unity deal between the Palestinian Authority and Hamas may be in jeopardy. Over the weekend, PA President Mahmoud Abbas accused Hamas of running a, quote, shadow government in Gaza. The PA leader said in Cairo Saturday night that if Hamas won't accept a Palestinian state with one government, one law, and one weapon, then there won't be any partnership between us. In response, Hamas said today that Abbas is trying to sabotage the unity deal. French news agency AFP quoted Hamas spokesman Fawzi Baram as saying that Abbas was trying to, quote, destroy the reconciliation and play into the hands of the Americans and the Israelis. Hamas had taken over control in Gaza by force in 2007, creating years of rivalry and conflict between the terror group and the Abbas-led Fatah movement. As you may recall, this past April, the two sides signed a reconciliation deal to form a unity government, something Israel strongly rejected. Former Israeli President Shimon Peres addressed the 14th Annual International Conference of the Institute for Counterterrorism in Herzliya today, where he called Abbas a partner for peace and called on the international community to join Israel in its fight against terror. Peres said, now that we're in a ceasefire period, we can say that while the Palestinian Authority has a pro-terror camp, there is also a pro-peace camp, the latter of which is with the PA's head, Mahmoud Abbas. Peres also urged economic sanctions against countries who finance terror like Qatar and Turkey. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned today of the threat of terror and Islamic extremism. Speaking at a meeting with visiting Norwegian Foreign Minister Børge Brende, Netanyahu said there was a growing awareness of the threat posed by Islamist terror and radicalism.
Groups like ISIS, Hamas, Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, Hezbollah, supported by Iran, they form a clear and present danger to our civilization, our way of life, our values. I think the most important thing is to nip it in the bud, and those who don't do so will find Islamic terrorism that is here today, tomorrow at their doorstep.
Brende was in Israel after attending the NATO summit in Wales this weekend, where, as you may have seen on IBA News, the Arab League voted that it would take a stand against the Islamic State, or ISIS. The alleged gunman responsible for the murders of 4 people, including an Israeli couple at the Jewish Museum in Brussels earlier this year, was reportedly not only planning a second attack this year, but also was reportedly a captor and torturer in Syria. As you may have seen on IBA News, 4 French reporters kidnapped by the Islamic State, or ISIS, said they were held captive by the Brussels Museum gunman Mehdi Namouche, and that he was planning an even larger attack in Paris during Bastille Day celebrations there this past July. Namouche was arrested in France 6 days after the Jewish Museum shooting on May the 24th and was recently extradited to Belgium to stand trial. Former Deputy Prime Minister of Israel Dan Meridor has been appointed the new president of the Israel Council on Foreign Relations, or ICFR. The ICFR is a foreign affairs think tank which operates under the auspices of the World Jewish Congress. Meridor is a veteran member of Israel's Knesset, where he served as Minister of Intelligence and Atomic Energy, Minister of Justice, Minister of Finance, and Cabinet Secretary, as well as Chairman of the Knesset Foreign Affairs Committee. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder said, "We know that Dan Meridor will bring to this position his eloquence, wisdom, leadership, and love of Israel, and in so doing will further enhance the strong reputation of this important component of the World Jewish Congress." Family and friends gathered yesterday at Temple Emmanuel in New York City to say goodbye to Jewish comedian Joan Rivers. The pioneering icon's funeral was attended by many in the entertainment business. Rivers had written several years ago about wanting her funeral to be a big showbiz affair, and that is truly what she got, with a star-studded send-off that included Audra McDonald and Hugh Jackman singing in her honor, and the NYPD's bagpipe band playing show tunes during the processional at the end of the service. Rivers died Thursday at the age of 81. And turning now to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Monday, September the 8th. Coming up after the news, Talk Back Live with Shalom TV President Mark S. Golub, where you can call in and speak with him on any subject you'd like or ask any question you might have. The live show is from 6:30 to 8 tonight, followed at 8 by President of the America-Israel Friendship League Ken Bialkin moderating a panel discussion of the future of the Middle East with publisher of U.S. News and World Report Mort Zuckerman, columnist for the Washington Post Richard Cohen, editor of Commentary Magazine John Podhoretz, journalist and member of the Council on Foreign Relations Judith Miller, and former chair of the Conference of Presidents Richard Stone. That's from the Jewish Center of the Hamptons. And then at 9 o'clock tonight on L'chaim, Mark sits down with veteran Israeli diplomat Moshe Ahrens. That's all coming up tonight here on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Monday, September the 8th, 2014. I'm Teisha Bader.